Welcome back to the Mash Paddle YouTube channel. Today we're going to be brewing a beer for Oktoberfest. It's going to be a Festbier and it's going to be all grain. For this beer, we're going to be using the Brewzilla, and we're going to start off by getting 16 litres of water for our mashing. One litre over. Now before we fire him up, because my water where I live is a little high in pH, we're going to add some calcium sulfate just to drop it down a little bit. Maybe about half a teaspoon. Pop him in. We're going to mash in today at 66 degrees Celsius, and we're going to mash for 60 minutes. And then sparge out with about 12 litres of water, which I'll have heating up in the kitchen on the stove, and that'll be at 76 degrees. While waiting for the mash temp to get up, I'll quickly go through the grain bill in this particular beer. So this one's going to have 1.9 kilograms of Munich, 1.9 kilograms of Pilsner, half a kilo of Caramunich I, and 1.1 kilos of Vienna. This should hopefully get our original gravity to be around 1051. That's what we're going to aim for today. We're looking at 23 litres as our final volume as well. As I said at the top, we're going to 16 litres, ended up being 17 because I can't measure properly, as our mash, and we're going to have 12 litres of sparge. So we may end up with a touch more, so we may have to boil off a little bit more water during the boil. Hops for this one, very simple, Hallertau. We're going to have a 60-minute and a 10-minute addition to get us to about 24, 25 IBUs, which for a Festbier, spot on. That's our grain bill. So our grain bill here, nicely crushed up. So I got this pre-crushed. Kind of smells really nice too. Got big hopes for this one. Alrighty, so we're now ready to mash in. We're up to 66 degrees. Put it in the container. Give a quick stir in so there's no clumps, dough balls, anything like that. Pour the rest of the grain in. Amazed I didn't spill that everywhere. So I'm going to give this a good stir in, break up all the little clumps and everything that's going to happen. Then I'm going to pop my top mesh on, recirculate, start a timer for 60 minutes. As I said before, we're going to mash for 60 minutes and then we'll come back and sparge. There we are, mashing away there. Maybe look inside. So I didn't go with the top screen in the end because I had a little issue with the connection on my recirculation. she was leaking water. Well, we fixed that and then forgot to put the top screen on. But it's all good. Don't always need it. I should have taken the overflow valve thing off as well, which I'll do now. So I don't mind admitting when I make mistakes, and not having the top screen might have been a bit of a mistake because I had a bit of a cloggage in the tubing here. I've now popped the top screen on, recirculating back to normal. Lesson learned. Everybody makes mistakes. And look at the colour. Kind of impressed with this. Mash is now done, so I now need to lift up the grain basket, drain it out, and then sparge with 12 litres of water. That's at about 76 degrees. So you can hear that water now going through the grain bed into the kettle. This is the last of the 12 litres to go in. Then once that all runs through, we'll start our 60-minute boil. Right, now we're at our boil stage. We're just hit a boiling point here. We've got a hop rate going. So I'm going to get my hop spider, sanitised and organised. We'll pop in the first hop addition, which was the Hallertau. 27 grams of Hallertau is going to go in. These guys here. And that'll start our 60-minute boil with the addition of these guys, and then in 50 minutes time, we'll add another 7. All right, we're now 50 minutes in, so it's time for our final hop addition. Now, I think before I said, I think I got my numbers completely wrong in terms of how many grams of Hallertau that I'm using. At the beginning there, it was 32. Now this is going to be 5 grams, plus I've also got half a well-hop tablet and some yeast nutrient that's going to go in here as well. And I've just put it all into this little hop bag. Here's all going in. So, and now with the final 10 minutes remaining, I'm going to actually get my setup to the chiller and to chill this all down. If you saw an IGTV that I did for Blondale a couple of months ago, you would have seen my setup. It's a little bit different to how most people go with it, but I'll show you in about 10 minutes. So how I do it is I'm going to be recirculating the hot wort straight out through into the chiller, which is obviously, you can see the chiller's actually been in the fridge for the day. Filled the esky with some ice. I've got more ice that I can put in here, plus a whole heap of freezer bricks and things like that that will go in as well. And then this will just go straight back in. I'm just going to recirculate the wort straight through that way. Now, yes, people usually like to connect these to hoses and run water through. I find this is a little bit more efficient in terms of water usage. And plus I'm in my garage, so I don't actually have taps nearby. And I'm not going to take everything outside now, so it's wet and it's raining today. So this is how we're going to do it. Alright, so we've come to the end of our boil. I've shown you my little setup here to chill this one down. I'm going to take the hot basket out here. Nice bit of a mess we made. There you go. Cool. So it looks like I might have ended up with more of a literage than I thought. 23 litres exactly. So as I was saying, this is going to recirculate, go through basically an ice bath. It's going to cool the wort down as quick as it possibly can. And by pumping it back through into the kettle, just keep circulating that around and around and around. Now, time-wise, I've had this sometimes take me 20 minutes, which I suppose is the same as using running water through the chiller. I've had some times where it's taken a little bit longer as well. But as I said, I don't have taps or hoses in here, so this is the best way to do it. So while that's doing its thing and cooling down, I'm going to clean out my fermenter, do a bit more cleaning up as there's been a bit of a mess today, and we'll come back when it's time to pop into the fermenter. So just to prove, in 10 minutes, she's dropped down to 43. So that's not too bad, and I've just added some more ice and some ice bricks in there, so I'm hoping in another 10 minutes it'll drop down to 16 is where we want to kind of pitch at. If it's a touch higher, I think that'll be okay. And finally to pitch, we're using California Lager yeast M54. And there we will let this one sit for 2 to 3 weeks before we'll actually bottle this one. So come back to the channel and hopefully in a few weeks' time we'll do a tasting video.